Good morning, children. Yesterday we were doing cell part 1 and we have done plasma membrane or cell membrane, about its functions and its structure. So this is the second part of cell, and today we will study diffusion and osmosis. These two phenomena, they are related with cell membrane or plasma membrane. So we will study how diffusion and osmosis takes place along the cell membrane. We all know that all the living organisms, the cell of all the living organisms is interacting with its environment and with the other cells of the organism continuously. How this interaction takes place? This interaction is through this cell membrane, because cell is the outer boundary of the cell, and this cell membrane, it helps the cell to interact with the outer environment of the cell and to the other cells. Now, many molecules which are helpful for the functioning of the cell, they are in continuous movement around the cell and inside the cell. And the movement of these molecules, it is dependent upon this cell membrane. For example, oxygen, which is needed for respiration or cellular respiration, it comes inside the cell through this cell membrane. This is the structure of the cell, this is the nucleus, this is cell membrane, and this is cytoplasm and many cell organelles inside the cell. So oxygen, it comes in for cellular respiration. Carbon dioxide, it goes out. If it is more inside the cell, then waste products which are formed inside the cell, they have to exit the cell or go out of the cell. And so these two, oxygen comes in, carbon dioxide and waste go out. Likewise, water, it comes inside the cell also and it goes out also. And certain nutrients, these are also come in the cell through this plasma membrane. So plasma membrane helps in exit and incoming of certain molecules, and this is under the process of diffusion. Now we should know what is diffusion. Diffusion is movement of particles or molecules from the region of higher concentration towards the region of lower concentration. What does it mean? Suppose more water is there inside the cell and outside less water is there, then this water from in will go to out, because the concentration of water molecules is more inside the cell and it is less outside the cell. So this is diffusion. Likewise, oxygen is more outside and it is less inside. So oxygen will diffuse inside the cell under diffusion from higher concentration towards the lower concentration. So this is diffusion. By a simple experiment, we can know how the diffusion takes place in liquids. In gases, we know by the smell of perfume. Perfume in a corner of a room, we can smell it on the other corner, because the aroma particles, they diffuse through the air of the room to the other particles. So this is diffusion of aroma or diffusion in gases. Likewise, diffusion in liquids. In a beaker, we take water and put a small drop of ink. This ink here, the concentration of ink particle is more, and slowly it diffuses to all of the water of the beaker. Here the concentration is low, only the concentration of ink particle is low. Water is more here, so concentration of ink particle is less here. So ink particles or ink molecules, they go from higher concentration towards the region of lower concentration, and this is diffusion of ink in water. So now we know diffusion is clear. The definition is movement of molecules from the region of their higher concentration towards the region of their lower concentration. This is diffusion. So in cell, carbon dioxide and oxygen, the gases, they come in and out through the diffusion. Now there is a second term, osmosis. Osmosis is also a type of diffusion. It is related with diffusion. A special type of diffusion is osmosis. Here also the molecules, they move from the area or the region of higher concentration to the area or region of lower concentration. But there are two things. One, the presence of semi-permeable membrane, and this cell membrane is semi or selectively permeable. So for osmosis to take place, this selectively permeable membrane is needed, one thing. And second, for osmosis to take place, it always in liquid medium. Osmosis takes place in liquid medium only and not in gas or solid. So osmosis is a type of diffusion where a selectively permeable membrane is needed. Second, liquid medium is needed. And third, it is a special type of diffusion. Also here also osmosis. So the definition of osmosis will be movement of water, mostly water, solvent, water particles from the region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration through a semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane. So in this diagram you can see this red line is selectively permeable membrane. On one side more water molecules are there, and these water molecules, they are going towards this side where the concentration of water is less and here the concentration of water is more. So osmosis is taking place through this semi-permeable membrane. One more thing, if the water particles are more here and suppose it is a salt solution. Suppose this is also a salt solution and here this is also a salt solution. So here 1 teaspoon salt will be there and here 2 teaspoons salt will be there in the solution. If the salt is more, then water will be less. If the salt is less, then water will be more. So this will be dilute solution and this will be concentrated solution. But the water particles will be less here, more here, and water particles will be less here. So this is osmosis. Osmosis we can also see if we put dry resin. Do you know what is resin? Resin is dried grapes, kishmish. So if we put this resin in water, after some time they swell up. Why they swell up? Because inside the resin, the solution, it is like sugar syrup. The solution of the cytoplasm inside is thick, very sweet, but here in the second, water goes in because the concentration of water molecules is more outside than the inside. So water goes in and these resins, they swell up. So this is osmosis is taking place, and this osmosis is known as endosmosis. Endo means inside, going inside. So this is osmosis where resins swell up because water, it goes from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration of water molecules, which is inside the resin. So this is osmosis and this is diffusion. Now this is cell. Again we come to this cell. Water goes in through semi-permeable membrane. So this is by osmosis. nutrients also go in through this membrane, so it is also osmosis. And waste products which are coming out of the cell, they are also through this membrane, and so it is also under osmosis. Now osmosis may be of 3 types depending upon the concentration of medium where a plant cell or an animal cell is being kept. It is being present. So 3 types of osmosis can be there depending upon the concentration of the medium. So I have drawn 3 petri dishes, and suppose we have put red blood cells in this medium. A slide is being formed, and the slide red blood cells, they are kept. So these 3 types of medium or solution, they are known as isotonic first, second is hypotonic, and third is hypertonic. We should